What is up, everybody in YouTube land? We are the Thralls of Metal. I'm Jammin Jon.
Necrotic Nick.
Shredlord.
And we are bringing you a very, actually, much awaited album. Anticipated. This was on all of our radars. Bringing you an album review, Between the Buried and Me's Colors 2. If you have been living under a rock for, say, the last 21 years and have no idea who these guys are, these guys went from metalcore to becoming pretty much progressive metal giants. Formed in 2000 in, Winston-Salem, North Carolina? Raleigh, North Carolina, my bad. This is their, I would say, 11th physical album, although you can count Automata pretty much, in my opinion, 1 and 2 as one album, so this would be their 10th album.
Yes.
Anyway, Colors 2. The follow-up to Colors 1, which I thought was going to be pretty damn near impossible. But...
yeah, a sequel, 14 years later. I mean, well, think about it in terms of movie terms. Most sequels you see 14 years later, you're like, oh, maybe the nostalgia will carry it this, and then often it doesn't.
Or maybe you set the bar way too high by naming it Colors 2. I mean, it's almost an asshole move.
Really.
I mean, it's pretty cocky.
You're almost kind of setting yourself up to fail, but if BT Bam hadn't been so damn consistent forever now, like pretty much since Alaska, they've been firing on all cylinders, I wouldn't, be worried. But this was just a little bit extra. Like, okay, Automata, great album. So was Coma Ecliptic. Now, I know greatness is in their wheelhouse because every time a BT Bam album is coming out, I anticipate another great album because that is what they do. Calling it Colors 2 instantly kind of had me worried. I was like, okay, that's your benchmark album. It is the game changer. It's the one that launched you into prog. Generally, the whole attitude behind sequels, again, this is kind of like more of a film thing, is to almost outdo the original. Very
lofty, but it's like I was telling Nick the whole time, because he was really like, I don't know.
Don't call it that.
I think if any band were to attempt to do a sequel of their best album and do it well, it would be Between the Buried and Me, and...
we were correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh my god. This record is pretty fucking killer.
I had no doubts whether they called it Colors 2 or something else, anything else really, that it would be good. These guys are, honestly, in terms of modern prog, they're the band that kind of sets the standard, at least in my opinion. Crazy, inventive songs, just stellar musicianship that is even hard to describe. It's so good. The big thing about it is they know how to write clever songs that actually have hooks that don't come across as like muddy wankery where everyone's just showboating. Everything serves the song.
So enough about Colors 1, let's talk about what the hell we're here to talk about, which is Colors 2. So it starts off with Monochrome, and Monochrome is actually this whole album to me, let's just get it out of the way, almost seems like a weird Bizarro or a mirror of Colors in a way. I think they were creative how they do it, like similar to how Dream Theater will reuse various parts from older albums to reestablish in new songs. They did a good job of mirroring these things, as we'll talk about as we go along. Mm-hmm. Monochrome is no different. It starts off very chill and beautiful, the same way Colors 1 starts off. Yep. It's very BT Bam, but you can hear that there's some new melodies, counter melodies. There's some new flavors of ear candy that they're going to throw our way.
Something you'll see appear in this album are nods to like 80s prog or 80s music in general.
EDM. 9 Inch Nails. In spots.
70s prog too.
And that's kind of how Monochrome starts after that beautiful piano intro that you're going to find on, Colors 1. It kind of kicks into like this 80s kind of proggy.
I was a fan of the Cars.
Yeah.
I love the Cars. Now, in terms of that, I'll call it classic sound, in terms of that classic Color sound, the two tracks that really jumped off the page for me were Revolution and Limbo and Never Seen / Future Shock. Both of these songs instantly reminded me of that wild, frantic style that was on Colors, and they bring back that Colors level of heaviness. Now, honestly, BT Bam's been heavy. They've been heavy since
Never
Colors.
not.
Right.
But that Colors heavy was different because it was so wild and crazy. The transitions were nuts. And that is sort of revisited, but I don't know. It's sort of like they were young and angry before. Now they're more mature and they know how to process their feelings a little bit more. So the transitions are a little bit smoother.
Which is crazy to think about because I don't believe there's many bands besides them and a few others that can piece so many different chaotic and musical opposite things in such a smooth and fluid way.
Yep, and every transition is spot on. If you've ever seen these guys live, I watch them execute the craziest transitions in the world live.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I don't think any other band out there can mesh such genres together like the kind of Presbyterian gospel feel of
all the way
Fix
to
the
death
Error,
metal, you know?
all the way to death metal.
I mean, in Revolution and Limbo, it shifts from like deathcore breakdowns, kind of reminiscent of Glass Casket, to I would almost call like Russian folk music, like you're
like a smidge of Middle Eastern, Indian, Russian folk.
Yeah,
music,
I don't know. You're wearing a fez. You're smoking out of a hookah. It's a dimly lit bar, and they're playing. But the extreme dynamic shifts. That is something that is a BT Bam thing, and I just don't know how they do it, but they do it so well because the transitions seem seamless. Like they just kind of naturally flow.
Buttery smooth.
To genres that aren't even remotely connected. How the fuck did you do that?
And how do you keep doing that? And how do you make it as entertaining as you do? Because I feel like if anybody else tried to shove Russian folk music with deathcore, it wouldn't gel.
It's pixie dust. Diddle-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo. By the time Never Seen Future Shock comes into play, 5 songs in, there's one thing that stands out too on this album. Tommy Giles' clean vocals are let loose, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
The melodies he's coming up with and such are beautiful. They're cool. I really enjoy how much they let him do that and how much better he sounds now.
Oh my god,
compared to earlier albums.
And they've let him run, I think, since Coma Ecliptic. When Coma Ecliptic came out, he started to really perform vocally. Throughout the whole album, he really plays the dynamic card as far as what he's from growls to screams to beautiful cleans to weird
spoken
word things.
I'll go ahead and say it. I think this is his best vocal performance yet.
Yep.
Like flat out, that is one of the biggest differences between this Colors and the previous Colors is it is actually I won't even say like a 50-50 split. Like I would say a good chunk of this is clean vocals, and if you go back, Colors is definitely more raw. He screams more. The clean vocals are kind of these nice little pocketed moments. The cleans are dominant on here.
Yes,
and
they sound great.
The stuff that he layers in there with the synth work, absolutely gorgeous.
Talking about referencing and giving props to musicians of future past, the song Bad Habits has a lot of things that really keyed me in as a listener. Number one, it's one of the few times that you get a traditional lead on the album, and it is beautiful, to the point, melodic, and it would make John Petrucci very proud in terms of phrasing, execution, and tone. It sounds incredible. The intro of the song itself has this very cool 70s Jethro Tull, proggy, Kansas, sticks, keyboard stuff. That was a really interesting blend. The one thing that really sticks out about this song too, and BT Bam does this really, really, really well, they have this heavy chug moving along to like pound the song and keep the heaviness, and then they'll do the nice, beautiful, serene, almost calm melody.
Calm melody behind that.
It's a nice counter melody to what's going on with the heavy, and stuff like that is always up their sleeve, but in a song like Bad Habits, it really, really works here and really captures my wiener. Really captures my wiener.
You shouldn't capture that.
Don't capture wiener. And the drum work, too. I mean, all over this album, Blake's never been a slouch as far as coming up with interesting beats, but like this song and, Fix the Error, where they have multiple drum solos, Blake is just all over the goddamn map, and he does it so well.
And tasteful, too.
Yep.
His fills are, always spot on, and he's just, you have Dan Briggs, too, and the rhythm section is god tier.
Yeah, dude, Dan Briggs' work on this album, too, is fucking insane.
He's also doing some synths, too, so both he and Tommy are working on that.
Yep.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about Fix the Air, outside of the video, which is fucking amazing.
Yes, I love the video. That's, in fact, that gets the song even more caught in my head when I think about the cues in the video for it. So,
but an interesting thing about that is they deliberately went with a gospel feel, which I think was interesting. But they also said we wanted to be like a punk sort of anthem, and it is pretty damn punk. Like, it's driven by D beats. It's a mosher of a song, which, you know, BT Bam's not really known for like flat out moshers. But the interesting thing is the whole thing is about, you know, going after the corporations. You know, it has the punk ethos behind it, but you play gospel music, which is praise the Lord, praise whatever, authoritarian, but the whole contrast and moods, I think it's just something really clever, and that's just something that BT Bam does.
I think Fix the Error is kind of like the Voice of Trespass of this album, where they just pick something kind of outlandish as to mesh together. In this case, it would be
work.
In this case, it would be punk and gospel. You know, in Voice of Trespass, it was swing. So,
I mean, prehistory. Why not throw in some cartoon noises? Because, you know, they just wanted to hang out in Toontown for a little bit and write a weird prog song. That is the thing that I always love about BT Bam, is I don't know where I'm going on this journey, ever.
Nope.
The unpredictable nature of their music, and that is kind of a thing that they're really good at within prog, because as adventurous as prog metal gets, sometimes you can kind of sense where the songs are going. Like, you know, Dream Theater albums, granted they're great, you can kind of sense where they're going to go. BT Bam, I don't think has ever felt that way, because I don't know.
There's much more influences, I think, that they're drawing from to create their music. Yeah. But definitely. And, you know, just like a prog metal album, it's long. This album in its entirety is about an hour and 19 minutes.
78 minutes and some change.
But not every song is this long, drawn-out prog masterpiece either. They have some nice 4, 5, 6 minute songs. Right after Bad Habits, you get 3 in a row that are nice and short, but they're awesome, right to the point, and it's all killer, no filler. Tracks like The Future's Behind Us.
I like the chorus in that song.
Yeah. The beginning's almost like David Bowie's Let's Dance meets heavy metal.
It's like a Bowie-Haken mix, kind of.
Yeah. And then the track Turbulent has this EDM, you know, kind of vibe, very 80s synth.
I love that lead.
Ends with a 9 Inch Nails feel, too.
Yeah, the beautiful ending, this heavy, like, distortion out of nowhere in the background. I said it reminded me of Something I Can Never Have, the ending of just beautiful. And then one of my favorite tracks, it's a short instrumental. I don't know how to pronounce it. Smafado. Whatever it is. It is beautiful. They're basically, the rest of the band is setting up this nice, beautiful landscape, and there's this nice, beautiful, short, sweet, melodic lead over top of it. It very much reminded me of Pink Floyd's Marooned.
And also very much reminded me of like a shorter Viridian, which would be the setup into the final track, Human as Hell, another one with love. Which is this album's White Walls.
Yeah, it's Bizarro White Walls.
Yeah, it really is. The whole song flows much like White Walls did.
Yes, and there's even many parts throughout that song that mimic, almost, they don't mimic it per se, but there's enough of a similarity there between certain riffs that you know that's what they're referencing.
It's a Marvel what if.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a what if.
What I really like is the big mood shift before you get to that last track. Like, it gets a little bit calmer. There's a lot of stuff like from Bad Habits to Turbulent. It kind of reminds me a lot of like Devin Townsend's style of prog, where it's heavy, but you feel like everything's gonna be all right. Generally, BT Bam's so damn chaotic, you know, you don't get that sense of calm very often, and if you do, it's for a blip before they freak out again. But I like this kind of more soothing setup before you get to the prog masterpiece. I simply wrote ultra mega prog.
Yep.
There's a lot of other words to describe it, but that works.
I mean, they toured with Devi, so I mean, it would only make sense that some of that would rub off on them. And being, as you know, both Devi and BT Bam are obviously prog. You know,
Tom was cynic too.
Shut the fuck up. I'm tired of his mouth.
Shall I stab him?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with this track being 15 minutes, it very much has many different parts. There is a similarity here, I believe, in how they paced and how they wrote this in comparison to White Walls, I would believe. But once again, more references. There is a part that sticks out in my mind that I can't shake. There is this beautiful bass section and keyboard section that is very reminiscent of Dream Theater's Lifting Shadows Off a Dream, which is a really pretty, beautiful song by Dream Theater, and to have a reference like that in there I thought was pretty cool. And considering they're Dream Theater fanatics, I'm pretty sure they knew they were doing that.
Yeah. The whole build-up for this song, I think the record as a whole really builds up to this moment. I was personally waiting for the end track just to see what the hell they were going to do, and knowing that it was 15 minutes long, you know, really cemented it in my mind. But this is the song, I would say, where all of the band is firing on all cylinders. Everybody goes balls out.
They turn their amps to 11.
And I've come to really look forward to choruses in between the Buried in Me songs because they're always so beautiful anymore.
Yes.
It used to not really be that way. Like, you're more interested in like what they're gonna do next in terms of like just, you know, how crazy the song could be. But they have gotten so much better at writing hooks, like giant melodic hooks that really bring the song together. And they're doing even better now, which is insane because they were already really fucking good at it.
About the 7.5 minute mark of this song is when it really kind of just opens up, such as the end of White Walls did. The jam in here, though, is sexy.
Yeah,
as
beautiful
all
leads.
get out. Beautiful leads.
It's jazzier colors.
Kind of funky.
All in all, it was the perfect way to end this album.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta end it with the grand closer, and holy shit, they did.
All right, so that takes us to the end of Colors 2. Almost. Because now we got to tell you what we think about it. And if you haven't guessed, a couple of us, maybe all of us, are kind of giant Between the Buried and Me fans. I just want to, I guess, disclaimer, this is not Colors. I don't think anything will ever be Colors.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, because that's a hell of an album. But this is also a hell of an album, and albeit I rarely do this anymore, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. This is a 5-star from me. This is an incredible album. I don't have a single problem with it. It's everything that I was hoping it would be. Musically, it is, again, I think the top notch for all of these guys. I personally am thankful to have heard of this band, because you're not going to get musicianship like this in a whole lot of places. 5 for me.
I have to give this a 5 out of 5 as well. I didn't want to at first, and I even listened to it a couple more times just to make sure that it wasn't just a fanboy thing. But I truly believe that this album is going to be considered one of the strongest of their discography when it's all said and done. I don't know if, when time passes, if it will be as legendary as Colors 1. And I don't think maybe it ever could be, considering that album was not only a piece of music for them, but it also was a piece of music that they wrote during a time that basically it fire-started their career up.
Yeah.
So it's a little dangerous to call it Colors 2, but damn, they pulled it off well. This is beautiful, and if you're a fan of BT Bam, then I don't see any reason why you're not going to love this as well.
I'm going to give it 4.5. I don't like the idea of perfection. I don't like handing out 5-star ones, but this is pretty damn close, and I don't want to throw another fraction up there. So, this is absolutely brilliant, and you know what? The cool thing is it stayed away from the trappings of a sequel. It didn't try to outdo it.
Right.
This album stands on its own. Regardless of what they called it, it would have stood on its own, but it kept the themes of Colors, because that was the whole idea. They were kind of hunkered down and felt the pressure to make a great album, and my God, did they step up to it. It's really interesting to hear them take on that older sound as older musicians, like more seasoned. They're definitely better musicians. Tommy has become an even better singer over the years. So at certain points, this is even better than the original. But in other aspects, it's not quite the same album, but I wouldn't want it to be. This is one that I can just listen to and don't even have to think about the original, because I'm just going to dismiss the title. This is an awesome album. Go out and get it. If you're a BT Bam fan, there's already a chance you pre-ordered it like me and are probably waiting until October to get it. What can you do?
Isn't shipping fun?
Shipping's so much fun. But yeah, this is brilliant, and this is what keeps prog fresh, is bands like this pushing the limits and just pushing themselves become even better. Go get it.
So, if you like the review you saw here, please hit the like and subscribe button.
Give it a thumbs up.
If you are not already subscribed to our channel, we would greatly appreciate it. Plus, you get access to all the cool videos we release on a pretty semi-daily basis. Also, we are now on Patreon. If you would like to support your fellow fuckhead metalhead friends over here in Thrallland, there's a link down below in how to do so. Also, if you would like a shirt from us, we have shirts still available, and you can go ahead and send an email to thrallsofmetal@gmail.com with the caption "shirts" in large letters, and we will get an invoice to you. And Necrotic, please tell them about our crazy giveaway.
It's pretty damn crazy. We have a stack of 8 CDs we're going to give away, including the new Cannibal Corpse with the uncensored artwork, because it's that. All you have to do is comment on the video. The link is down below, and it is automatically playing on our channel. Thank you all so much for joining us on this wild ride. You guys make it so worth it. We love talking to you. We love, of course, talking about metal and such. This has been an insane ride, and it's only going to get crazier, possibly dumber too.
Captain Insano.
Definitely dumber.
Insano.
So with that, we thank you all for watching, and we will catch you later.